I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secrets. Talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, so you don't know what's really going on.
It's not our world.
None of this is real?
Nope.
So you're just passing
We don't
through.
matter. We don't matter.
For years, we laughed at Jim Carrey. We called him crazy. We dismissed him as a conspiracy theorist having a public breakdown. But everything he warned us about, it was real. And now, with Epstein's files exposed and Hollywood's darkest secrets finally coming to light, we have to ask ourselves, what if he was trying to save us the whole time? Here's what we missed. Jim Carrey came from nothing. Poverty in Canada, a broken family, a father who gave up his dreams for survival, and a mother battling addiction. He clawed his way out through comedy and performance. Pure, raw, unfiltered talent that eventually made him the biggest star on the planet. My mom was addicted to pain medication. She was very sick in a lot of ways. She was lovely too, but she was a child of alcoholics and she had issues. And that's not intentional abandonment. She was always there for me. She was always there in the house. But if you're high on painkillers, that's abandonment. He learned that survival meant making people laugh, making people forget their pain. And when he finally broke into Hollywood, he did it his way. No compromises, no playing the game. My plan was not to join Hollywood. It was to destroy it. To take a gigantic sledgehammer to the leading man and all the seriousness. And for a moment, it worked. Ace Ventura, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, The Truman Show. He became a god, untouchable, highest paid actor in the world. But success in Hollywood isn't freedom, it's a cage. By the late 1990s, Jim Carrey had everything a man could want, but he also had something else, clarity. He started seeing behind the curtain, and what he saw terrified him. That's when the warnings started. In 2014, Jim Carrey appeared on The Jimmy Kimmel Show for what was supposed to be a light, comedic interview. What came out instead was a public confession, a warning, and an exposure of the exact system we're now investigating for Epstein's crimes. He walked into that studio and decided to tell the truth, but he knew, he had to know, that if he said it directly, he'd be silenced. So he disguised it as a joke, as performance. The ultimate irony, a comedian telling the truth through comedy while the world laughed at him instead of listening to him.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret.
Watch Kimmel's reaction. He knows what Jim's talking about. He's looking around the studio like he's been caught, because he has been. Jim just exposed the entire apparatus on live television. And Kimmel's response? Nervous laughter, deflection. The exact playbook Jim is describing. Then he goes deeper.
Talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, so you don't know what's really going on.
He's literally describing a propaganda apparatus, a system designed to keep the public distracted while powerful people operate in the shadows. And he's doing this on live television in the middle of what's supposed to be a comedy appearance. But here's what's crucial. Jim wasn't just making this up. He wasn't having a breakdown. He was speaking from experience. He'd been inside Hollywood's machine. He'd seen how it operated, and he was trying to warn us.
Symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it.
The all-seeing eye, the hidden hand signals, the secret symbols used in award shows, music videos, corporate logos. Jim was cataloging the visual language of control, the code that insiders use to identify each other while the public remains blind. And then, brilliantly, he pivoted to an iPhone joke and promoted his movie. He defused the bomb he'd just planted, made sure they couldn't accuse him of being serious. But the damage was done, the warning was out there. Most people dismissed it as performance art, a celebrity acting crazy for attention. But some people listened, and when Epstein's files came out, everything Jim said suddenly made horrifying sense. Jim Carrey wasn't alone in trying to warn us. There was a pattern. Multiple celebrities, across different eras, all saying similar things, all being dismissed as crazy, all being proven right. Let's start with Mel Gibson. In the early 2000s, Gibson began openly discussing his paranoid suspicions about Hollywood. He spoke about seeing things he couldn't explain, hearing things that didn't add up. But when he tried to talk about it, he was shut down, ridiculed, labeled a conspiracy theorist.
A whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on, because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Right.
And nobody was really bothering to explain it to me.
Nobody would explain it. That's the key. When insiders try to warn outsiders about what's happening in Hollywood, the system doesn't engage. It gaslights. It ridicules. It silences.
And then you find out later on the track that you are exactly on track with a lot of this stuff. Not specifically on track, but that you could, that some of your worst nightmares were real.
Some of your worst nightmares were real. That's what happens when you finally understand what's happening in Hollywood. Your worst fears become concrete. They become documented. They become undeniable. But Gibson wasn't the only one. There was also Roseanne Barr, and her warnings were far more explicit about the exact nature of the crimes.
You know they eat babies. That is not bullshit. It's true.
So it's not just the dogs and the cats, not just the pets.
It's not just the dogs and the cats.
Now, listen to that. Roseanne's not being poetic. She's not being figurative. She's describing predatory behavior, cannibalism, the systematic abuse and consumption of children. And she's saying this as someone who's been inside Hollywood parties, someone who's seen it. The host's reaction? He laughs. He treats it like a joke. Because if you take it seriously, you have to act on it. You have to investigate. You have to destroy the people involved. It's easier to dismiss her as crazy, but then Roseanne got even more specific. And this is where it gets chilling.
Full-on vampires. And everybody still thinks I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. They're full-on vampires. They love the taste of human flesh and they drink human blood.
A 12-year-old boy as someone's date to a Hollywood party filled with A-list celebrities, and nobody stopped it. Nobody reported it. Everybody pretended not to see it. This is the reality that Jim Carrey, Mel Gibson, and Roseanne Barr were all trying to warn us about, not as conspiracy theories, not as performance art, as documented, witnessed reality. They were inside the machine. They saw the crimes, and they tried to scream. But back to Jim Carrey, because his warnings didn't stop at the Kimmel appearance. He kept going, more direct, more serious.
The last Hollywood party I went to, I won't mention the person's name, but everyone was there. It was A+, whatever the hell, you know, all the movie stars. And in comes a big movie star, and with him, his date, who was a 12-year-old boy. Okay, everybody was in their corners going, and I went, Lord, help me find my keys and get to my car.
That's not coded language. That's not performance. That's Jim Carrey standing in front of the industry that made him, speaking directly about child trafficking, corruption, and systemic lies. And the room's reaction? Applause. Because they can applaud vague moralizing while ignoring the specific crimes. But Jim knew, Roseanne knew, Mel knew. They all tried to warn us. And we called them crazy. Then came 2024. The Epstein files were unsealed. Thousands of documents, names, accusations, details so specific and so disturbing that even the mainstream media could no longer ignore it. And suddenly, all those crazy warnings from Jim Carrey, Mel Gibson, and Roseanne Barr didn't seem so crazy anymore. Donald Trump's name appeared thousands of times in the Epstein files, not just mentioned, accused of specific crimes, allegations of rape, allegations of threatening children, multiple sources corroborating the same patterns of behavior. But that's not even the most damning part. The files revealed something far worse. A network, an interconnected system of powerful men, politicians, celebrities, businessmen, royalty, all connected through Epstein, all participating, all complicit. And here's what's crucial. We knew. People like Jim Carrey, Mel Gibson, and Roseanne Barr were telling us. They were using coded language, humor, and direct statements to expose this network, and we dismissed them as conspiracy theorists.
Kidnapping children is not what great nations do. Hatred of immigrants, contempt for the truth, greed, and the abuse of power. There is a sinister deep state diabolically plotting to what? We in America are misinformed. Reality shows have warped our idea of what a hero is, or what the truth is.
Threatening to kill children. That's not a financial crime. That's not a misdemeanor. That's terrorism. That's organized crime. And it wasn't hidden in some dark corner of the internet. It was in legal documents. It was there the whole time. How many people were in those files? How many names? How many crazy accusations turned out to be documented reality? The answer is thousands. And the celebrities who tried to warn us about it were silenced, ridiculed, and labeled mentally unstable. So what happened to Jim Carrey after all this? How do you continue to exist exist in a system you know is fundamentally evil. In 2015, just a year after his Kimmel appearance, Jim Carrey's girlfriend passed away, Catriona White. She was 30 years old. The circumstances were tragic, and the aftermath was traumatic. Her family filed lawsuits against Jim, claiming his public profile contributed to her death. The suits were eventually dropped. No wrongdoing was ever found, but the damage was done. The message was clear. If you speak out against Hollywood, there will be consequences. Not direct consequences. The system doesn't work that openly, but collateral damage. Pressure, loss. It was the warning shot Jim needed to understand. The machine protects itself.
I'm retiring, but
No.
yeah, probably.
Are you being serious or are you screwing with me?
I'm being fairly serious, yeah.
He was ready to walk away. And honestly, who could blame him? He'd tried to warn us. He'd exposed the system. He'd paid the price for it. The only logical response was to exit completely. And that's what he did. He stepped away from Hollywood. He stopped playing the game. He stopped pretending to be Jim Carrey, the character, and just tried to be Jim, the human.
I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond invention and disguise, beyond the red S that you wear on your chest that makes bullets bounce off. I believe that it's deeper than that. I believe we're a field of energy dancing for itself.
He's not talking about Hollywood awards anymore. He's not even talking about the industry. He's talking about consciousness itself, about waking up to a reality beyond the performance, beyond the lies. And when asked if what celebrities say even matters, his response was perfect.
It's not our world.
None
That's
of this
the
is
key.
real?
Nope.
So you're just passing
We don't
through.
matter. We don't matter.
That's enlightenment. That's what happens when you see through the entire illusion. You realize that all of it, the awards, the fame, the status, the money, is meaningless. It's a distraction, a puppet show while real crimes happen in the shadows. Jim Carrey tried to warn us using the language Hollywood understands: performance, humor, coded messages. But the real message was always the same. Wake up, look behind the curtain, see what's really happening. And when we refused to listen, he did the only thing he could. He walked away. He stopped participating in the lie. Now, with Epstein's files unsealed and Hollywood's crimes finally exposed, we have to reckon with what we ignored. For years, Jim Carrey, Mel Gibson, and Roseanne Barr were screaming at us through every interview, every public appearance, every coded message. They were using the only platform available to them, Hollywood itself, the Emmy Awards, late-night television, red carpet events. They weaponized the system they were trying to expose, knowing full well that the media would turn it into entertainment, that the public would treat it as performance art. But the message was there. If you listen to Jim Carrey's Kimmel interview now, knowing what we know about Epstein, about the Illuminati symbols in award shows, about the government's role in suppressing information about trafficking, it's not funny anymore. It's a documentary. It's testimony.
I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it.
He literally said he was there to blow the lid off it. He identified himself as a whistleblower, and we laughed. The audience laughed, Kimmel laughed, because it was easier than accepting what he was actually saying. But here's the tragedy. Jim Carrey was right. Mel Gibson was right. Roseanne Barr was right. And because we didn't listen, because we dismissed them as crazy, the crimes continued. Epstein trafficked children for decades. Hollywood protected him. The system worked exactly as Jim described. Media distraction, government complicity, celebrity silence. It took legal documents and forced unsealing to wake us up. It shouldn't have taken that long. We had warnings. Clear, specific, desperate warnings. Jim Carrey is no longer an actor. He's an artist. He paints political cartoons. He speaks about consciousness and spirituality. He's completely removed himself from the entertainment industry, and you have to respect that choice. He did everything he could to warn us. He used his platform, he risked his reputation, he sacrificed his comfort and his safety. And in return, we called him crazy. But he wasn't crazy. He was awake. He was aware. And he was trying, desperately trying, to pull us out of the illusion. The Epstein files have confirmed everything. The symbols are real, the network is real, the crimes are real, the cover-up is real. Jim Carrey tried to warn you. Mel Gibson tried to warn you. Roseanne Barr tried to warn you. Now that we know they were right, we have to ask ourselves, what other warnings have we dismissed? What other truths are being hidden in plain sight, wrapped up in performance and humor and plausible deniability? The real question isn't whether Jim Carrey was crazy. The real question is, why did we listen to everyone else instead of listening to him?